Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources, distill them, and help you get informed without feeling overwhelmed. Today, we're diving into Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's pretty groundbreaking stuff.
Absolutely. Our mission here is to unpack its core ideas, the lessons that really challenge how most people think about money. We'll look at what the rich supposedly teach their kids, share some stories, and hopefully give you some practical ways to maybe redefine your own financial thinking.
Yeah, get ready to question some things you probably take for granted about money. We're definitely
Fine.
going to unpack some thought-provoking ideas. Okay, so let's start where Kiyosaki starts, his origin story. It's pretty unique, right? Two dads.
Very unique. You have his biological father, highly educated, a PhD,
Right.
but Kiyosaki calls him his poor dad.
And then there's his best friend's dad. Didn't even finish 8th grade, but became a successful entrepreneur. That's the rich dad.
Right. And what's really key here isn't just that he had these two figures, but that their views, especially on money, were so different. It forced Kiyosaki, even as a kid, to think, compare, and ultimately choose his own way forward. He couldn't just accept one reality.
Must have been quite the mental gymnastics for a kid. Just how different were their philosophies? Like, give us some examples.
Oh, fundamentally different. Take the idea of money itself. Poor Dad often said the love of money is the root of all evil. You hear that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Very common phrase.
But Rich Dad, he'd say the lack of money is the root of all evil. That's
Right.
that's a completely different starting point, isn't it?
Wow, yeah. It shifts the whole perspective. What about, like, facing limitations, affording things?
Another huge contrast. Poor Dad's default was, I can't afford it. Rich Dad apparently hated that phrase, said it shuts down your brain.
Okay.
His Rich Dad insisted on asking, how can I afford it? The idea being that that question forces your brain to work, to find solutions. It's proactive versus passive.
That makes sense. Active problem solving versus just accepting the block. What about taxes? That's always a hot topic.
Worlds apart, as you'd expect. Poor Dad felt the rich should pay more, help everyone else out. Kiyosaki calls this the Robin Hood fantasy.
Uh-huh.
Rich Dad, on the other hand, apparently argued that taxes punish those who produce and reward those who don't produce. A very different view on economics and responsibility.
That is a provocative take. Does he get into how the rich manage to navigate that system differently?
He does, yeah. We'll get deeper into that when we talk about corporations later. It's a really crucial piece. But even their career advice showed the split.
How so?
Poor Dad. Study hard so you can find a good company to work for. Standard advice, right?
Yeah, very standard.
Rich Dad. Study hard so you can find a good company to buy. Employee mindset versus owner mindset. Right there.
It touches everything, doesn't it? Risk too. Play it safe versus learn to manage risk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even the house. Poor Dad saw it as the biggest investment, the greatest asset.
Which is what most people think, right?
Right. But Rich Dad apparently said, my house is a liability, and if your house is your largest investment, you're in trouble. Even how they paid bills, Poor Dad paid bills first, Rich Dad paid himself first. Just opposite approaches down the line.
So these weren't just abstract ideas. He actually experienced this firsthand working for his rich dad, didn't he? Starting really young.
Yeah, age 9. And it wasn't your typical job, 10 cents an hour.
10 cents. And there was that story about trying to counterfeit nickels.
Ah, yeah. Out of lead, apparently.
Yeah.
His real dad shut that down fast, thankfully. But the rich dad later explained that the low pay, the weird tasks, it was all a lesson. It wasn't about the 10 cents. It was about forcing him to think beyond working for money and start thinking about how to make money work for him.
So pushing him to use his brain, not just his time.
Precisely. Rich Dad believed true learning requires like energy, passion, a real desire, and that fear of not having enough money, fear of losing, is what keeps most people stuck, being slaves to money, as he put it.
Okay, so that sets the stage. The core message then, for anyone listening, starts with understanding the rules of this money game. What's Kiyosaki's #1 rule?
It sounds incredibly simple, almost too simple.
Yeah.
You must know the difference between an asset and a liability and buy assets.
Define those terms as he does, because people often get confused.
Super simple definitions. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket, period.
Why is that simple idea missed so often, even by smart, educated people?
Because, he argues, our education system focuses on academic skills, professional skills, but not financial literacy. We learn how to earn money, but not how to manage it or make it grow. It's about understanding the story the numbers tell, the cash flow.
Right, the cash flow. Let's visualize that because
Yeah.
it's key. How does cash flow differ for the poor, middle class, and rich, according to this model?
Okay, for the poor, it's straightforward. Money comes in from a job, money goes out immediately for expenses, taxes, rent, food, transport, clothes. Nothing's left to acquire assets. Income in, expenses out. The middle class looks different. Salary comes in, yes. But then it flows out to higher expenses. Taxes, mortgage, car payments, credit cards, maybe student loans.
And crucially,
Crucially, their balance sheet fills up with liabilities that they often think are assets. The mortgage, the car loan, the credit card debt, they acquire things that take money out of their pocket each month.
including the house, which he argues isn't necessarily an asset in the way people think.
Exactly. If it costs you money every month for the mortgage, taxes, insurance, upkeep, it's taking money out, so it's a liability by his definition. It might appreciate, but the cash flow is negative month to month for many.
Okay, so that's poor and middle class. What about the rich?
The rich pattern is different. Their income comes primarily from their assets. Think rental income from properties, dividends from stocks, interest from bonds, royalties.
So the assets generate the income.
Yes, that income then covers their expenses.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. The excess income is reinvested back into buying more assets. So the asset column constantly grows, generating even more income. It's a cycle of growth.
And this middle class pattern, buying the house, getting nicer cars as income goes up, that leads to the rat race.
That's exactly what he calls the rat race. You work harder, you earn more, maybe get a promotion, but then your taxes go up, your spending goes up, bigger house, newer car, more credit card debt. You're running faster on the wheel, but you're not actually getting ahead financially.
He uses that example of the young couple.
Yeah, the classic example. They both work, make good money, buy the dream house. Then suddenly they're trapped by rising property taxes, maintenance, furnishing it, car payments. They work harder, maybe consolidate debt, but they're stuck in this cycle of earning and spending, never building real wealth that works for them.
So it really drives home the point. It's not just what you earn, it's what you keep and what you do with it. How does self-knowledge fit in here? He mentions a Japanese concept.
Right, the mere self-knowledge.
Mhm.
He suggests people often just conform. They follow the standard advice, get a safe job, your home is your biggest asset, diversify, without really questioning it. They're afraid to be different, afraid to make mistakes.
So they don't look in the mirror and ask, is this actually working for me?
Exactly. Fear keeps them following the crowd, even if the crowd is just running in the rat race. It prevents them from seeking new, potentially better solutions.
Okay, that leads nicely into how the rich, according to Kiyosaki, play the game differently, using things like corporations and this idea of inventing money. Let's unpack the corporation part first. He challenges the Robin Hood idea about taxes.
He really does. He points out that income tax, when it became permanent like 1874 in England, 1913 in the U.S., was initially sold as a tax on the rich.
Right, that was the pitch.
But, he argues, the rich didn't just sit there and take it. They used their financial knowledge, their lawyers, their accountants, and they utilized a powerful tool, the corporation.
And a corporation isn't really a thing, is it? It's more of a legal structure.
Exactly. It's just a legal file folder, essentially. But it offers huge advantages. For one, corporations often have lower income tax rates than individuals. That's a big one right there.
But the really big advantage seems to be how expenses are treated.
That's where it gets really interesting. Corporations can pay for many expenses before taxes are calculated. So things that might be personal expenses for an employee. Maybe a vacation framed as a board meeting. Car payments, health club dues, certain meals can potentially be legitimate business expenses paid with pre-tax dollars.
Whereas an employee,
An employee earns money, gets taxed on it immediately, and then has to live and pay all expenses on what's left over. A corporation earns, spends on legitimate expenses, and then gets taxed on a remaining profit. It's a massive difference in cash flow and tax efficiency.
and there's a protection element too, right? From lawsuits.
Yes, that's another key aspect. The rich can structure things so that their valuable assets are owned by corporations or trusts. So if they personally get sued, their most significant assets might be legally protected, shielded within these corporate structures. They might control everything, but technically own nothing directly. It's about limiting personal liability.
It sounds like a completely different set of rules.
It kind of is. Financial literacy includes understanding these legal structures and how they work.
Okay, so that's corporations. What about this idea of inventing money? That sounds, well, almost magical.
It does. But he presents it as a skill, a mindset. He emphasizes that it's often the bold, not necessarily the smart, who get ahead financially. He uses that Alexander Graham Bell example, Western Union, turning down the chance to buy the telephone patent for $100,000.
Ouch. Big miss for them.
Huge miss. Kiyosaki's point is that fear and self-doubt are the biggest obstacles. You have to be willing to see opportunities others miss and act on them, even if it feels risky. It's about calculated risk, not blind gambling.
How does he show this inventing money in practice? Can you give an example he uses?
Yeah, he gives a really concrete example from a real estate downturn in Phoenix back in the early 90s. He and his wife Kim found houses in foreclosure selling for, say, $20,000, but they were actually worth more like $75,000.
Okay. Big difference.
So they put down a very small amount, maybe $2,000, sometimes even borrowed short-term. Then they'd immediately turn around and advertise the house for sale at $60,000, maybe with no money down required from the next buyer.
And they'd sell it quickly.
Often within minutes, he says. They'd collect a small processing fee, say $2,500 from the new buyer. But the real invention was the $40,000 difference between their purchase price, $20 case, and the sale price, $60K. They didn't get that $40K in cash up front. Instead, they created a promissory note, basically an IOU from the buyer, for that amount, which became an asset in their asset column. This note would then generate passive income for them over time.
So they created an income-producing asset literally out of the gap in value with very little of their own money tied up and potentially deferred taxes on that created value.
Exactly. That's the inventing money concept. It's using financial intelligence to structure deals that create assets and cash flow. And he's very clear. It is not gambling if you know what you're doing. It is gambling if you're just throwing money into a deal and praying.
That leads to the two types of investors he talks about.
Right. Most people are the first type. They buy packaged investments, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, maybe through a broker or a financial planner. It's relatively simple, clean.
But the second type?
The second type creates investments. That's the type he champions. This is the person who puts the deal together, finds the opportunity, raises the capital, organizes the talent.
And that requires specific skills, doesn't it?
He highlights three key ones. First, finding opportunities others miss. Seeing value where others just see problems or nothing at all. That takes financial education and practice.
Okay, seeing the unseen. What else?
Second, raising money. Knowing how to finance deals beyond just going to a bank. Finding partners, structuring deals creatively, not letting "I don't have the money" stop you.
And third?
Organizing smart people, knowing how to hire and work with accountants, attorneys, brokers, property managers, people who are smarter than you in their specific areas. It's a management skill.
Okay, so if these principles, assets versus liabilities, cash flow, corporations, inventing money, are laid out, why isn't everyone doing this? Why isn't everyone rich? He talks about obstacles, right?
Yes, 5 major ones that stop even people who understand the concepts. The first, and maybe the biggest, is fear. Specifically, the fear of losing money.
Everyone feels that, though, surely.
Everyone does. But he argues it's how you handle that fear, how you handle losing. He says people are so afraid of losing that they lose. Winners aren't afraid of losing. They understand it's part of the process.
Like learning to ride a bike, you fall down.
Exactly. He uses the Alamo story. Texans lost the battle, but used it as a rallying cry to win the war. Or Rockefeller turning disasters into opportunities. Failure often precedes success. You have to be willing to risk losing to have a chance at winning big.
Okay, overcoming fear. What's the second obstacle?
Cynicism. This is that chicken little voice always saying the sky is falling. It's doubt and fear manifesting as criticism. Instead of analyzing an opportunity, the cynic just dismisses it.
He tells a story about that, doesn't he? A friend missing a deal.
Yeah, a friend backed out of a potentially great real estate deal because a neighbor, who wasn't even an investor, said it was a bad idea. The cynic listens to the doubts, often from uninformed sources, and misses out.
And this connects to the I don't want.
Right, like, I don't want to fix toilets if you're considering rental properties. Kiyosaki says these "I don't wants" often cripple people. Instead of saying, "I don't want to fix toilets," the successful investor asks, "How can I buy this property and not have to fix toilets?" The answer? Hire a property manager. Overcoming cynicism means finding solutions, not dwelling on the negatives.
Got it. Obstacle 3.
Laziness. And this often hides behind being busy. People are too busy working or too busy watching TV or too busy doing other things to take care of their financial health or education.
It comes back to that I can't afford it versus how can I afford it mindset again, doesn't it?
Exactly. Laziness is choosing the easy thought,
Oh, yeah.
can't, over the more demanding one, how can I? It's avoiding the mental effort required to find financial solutions or learn something new.
Okay, fear, cynicism, laziness. Number 4.
Bad habits. Our lives are a reflection of our habits, and a critical financial habit is paying yourself first.
Now, this sounds tricky. Doesn't that mean you don't pay your bills?
Not necessarily irresponsibly. His point is you prioritize funding your asset column before you pay your bills. This creates pressure. If you're short on cash to pay the bills after paying yourself first, that pressure motivates you to find other ways to generate income, rather than just dipping into savings or investments.
So it forces financial creativity and discipline.
Precisely. It strengthens your financial muscles by forcing you to find solutions under pressure, instead of just taking the easy way out by reading your savings.
Interesting. And the final obstacle, number 5.
Arrogance. Kiyosaki defines arrogance as ego plus ignorance. It's when people use arrogance to hide what they don't know. They might argue or criticize ideas they don't understand, rather than admitting their ignorance and being open to learning.
So true intelligence is being willing to learn, even from people you might disagree with.
Exactly. Being open to new ideas, listening to experts, questioning your own assumptions. He warns specifically against listening to financially poor or frightened people who just offer negative critical advice, the chicken littles.
Yeah.
You need to choose carefully who you take advice from.
Okay, so those are the hurdles. How do we jump over them? He offers practical steps, right? 10 of them.
Yes, 10 steps to awaken your financial genius. First, find a reason greater than reality. You need a strong why. A powerful emotional purpose, freedom, taking care of family, proving something to yourself. Without that deep why, the how becomes too difficult.
Makes sense. Number 2.
Make choices daily. Consciously choose how you spend your time, your money, and what you learn. Choose financial education over entertainment sometimes. These small daily choices compound.
3.
Choose friends carefully. Hang out with people who are where you want to be financially or who are actively working towards it. Learn from them. Be inspired by them. Avoid negative or cynical people who drag you down.
Your network matters. 4.
Master a formula, then learn a new one. Learn one way to make money, like small rental properties. Get good at it, then learn another, like stock options or small cap stocks. The key is rapid learning and adapting. Don't get stuck on one thing forever.
Continuous learning. 5.
Pay yourself first. We just covered this. Build that discipline. Make your asset column the priority. Manage the pressure.
6.
Pay your brokers well. Good advisors, accountants, lawyers, real estate brokers, stockbrokers are assets. Their advice and expertise can make you far more money than they cost. Don't be cheap with essential professional help.
7. This one sounds intriguing. Be an Indian giver. What does that mean in this context?
It's about getting your initial investment money back out of a deal as quickly as possible while still retaining ownership or control of the asset. Once you get your original capital back, the asset is essentially free and the risk is significantly lower. Any income or appreciation from that point is pure profit on zero investment, like Ray Kroc with McDonald's real estate.
Recoup the capital, keep the asset. 8.
Use assets to buy luxuries. Don't buy luxuries on credit or out of your earned income directly. Build your asset column first. Then let the cash flow from those assets pay for the luxuries, the nice car, the big vacation. This reinforces financial discipline.
Smart. Delayed gratification powered by assets. 9.
Choose heroes. Find people who have achieved what you want to achieve, like Warren Buffett for investing, or maybe a local real estate mogul. Study them, read about them, emulate them. It makes success seem more achievable and provides models.
And the last one, number 10.
Teach and you shall receive. When you teach something, you have to understand it deeply yourself. Sharing your knowledge generously often brings more knowledge, opportunities, and abundance back to you. It reinforces your own learning.
Those are 10 powerful steps. Does he offer even more specific, like, to-do items for people ready to act?
Oh yeah, he gets very practical. First, simple but hard. Stop doing what isn't working. Take an honest look at your finances. If something's draining your money or time without results, stop it and look for something new.
That requires some courage. What else?
Actively seek new ideas. Go to the library, browse bookstore sections you normally wouldn't, search online for different investment strategies, find specific how-to formulas.
Be curious.
Exactly, and find someone who has done what you want to do. Take them to lunch. Ask for tips, advice, pitfalls to avoid. Learn from their experience.
Mentorship, basically?
Yes. Also, invest in education. Take classes, attend seminars, buy courses, read books. He credits a $385 seminar with making him millions. See education as an investment, not an expense.
Okay, what about actually doing deals?
Make lots of offers,
Hmm.
especially in real estate or business acquisitions. He says you make your profit when you buy, not when you sell. Don't be afraid to make low offers, but always include escape clauses, subject to partner approval, subject to inspection, even subject to my cat's approval. It's a numbers game. Someone might say yes.
Get in the game, don't just watch.
Right. And know your market. Regularly walk, jog, or drive through areas you're interested in. Look for signs of change, for sale signs coming down, new construction, businesses moving in or out. Talk to people, mail carriers, delivery drivers.
Boots on the ground intelligence.
Definitely. And shop for bargains everywhere, especially when markets crash. That's when opportunities appear for those who are prepared and knowledgeable. Look where others aren't looking, like foreclosure auctions.
Buy low.
That's the goal. And finally, think big. Don't limit yourself to small deals if you want big results. Learn how to leverage other people's time and money. Scale up.
Wow, that's a lot of actionable advice going from mindset shifts to very specific tactics. But Kiyosaki also seems to frame this whole financial intelligence thing as part of something bigger, doesn't he? Like purpose and personal development.
He absolutely does. It's not just about piling up money. He introduces his cash flow quadrant model to illustrate this.
Explain that quickly. ESBI.
Right. E is employee, S is self-employed or small business owner, B is big business owner with systems and employees working for them, and I is investor. He argues that our school system primarily trains people for the E and S quadrants, get a job, or be a specialist like a doctor or lawyer working for yourself.
But true freedom is elsewhere.
He believes true financial freedom and leverage are primarily found on the right side, in the B and I quadrants, where you have systems or money working for you, rather than you working directly for money. Moving quadrants often requires a significant shift in mindset, skills, and identity.
So it connects to finding your path, not just a job.
Yes, he talks about the path as the goal. Financial education isn't just about learning finance. It's a tool for discovering and pursuing your life's purpose, beyond just having a profession. His own journey reflects this, moving from being a pilot, ES, to a business owner and an investor, BI, and educator.
It sounds like a very holistic view then, not just numbers.
Very much so. He stresses developing the whole person, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. He believes you can't achieve lasting financial change without addressing the internal stuff, your fears, your greed, your discipline, your beliefs about money. That's partly why he created the Cash Flow board game, to simulate real-life financial decisions and emotional responses in a safe learning environment.
Which brings us back full circle to learning, doesn't it?
It really does. Continuous learning is the bedrock. Financial intelligence, he repeats, is a combination of skills: accounting, reading numbers, investing, making money work for you, understanding markets, supply and demand, and law, taxes, corporations, protection.
And risk.
He always says risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. The more you learn, the less risky things become because you understand them better. So, investing in your financial education through books, seminars, practice, mentors is the single best investment you can make. It pays dividends for life.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad, here's something to think about. In this world of constant flux and endless information, what's the one core financial belief you hold on to that might actually be holding you back?
Kiyosaki's work really pushes us to question that conventional wisdom. It's not just about your paycheck. It's about how you think about money, how you use your time, and critically, how you use your mind to build assets that generate income.
Are you perhaps digging yourself deeper into a financial hole without realizing it? Are you ready to start building that financial intelligence instead?
The journey to financial freedom, based on these ideas, seems less about frantically chasing dollars and more about mastering your own mindset, overcoming those internal obstacles, and committing to lifelong learning about how to make money work for you.
So the final question for you is, what will you do with this insight?